Hi all, welcome to Anjan GCP Data Engineering. So in this video, we'll learn about big lake tables and its underlying concepts and its advantages with detailed demo. Okay, big lake tables can be used to query structured data from external data sources. Okay, like Google Cloud Storage Bucket and other cloud storages like S3 and Blob storages. That too with access delegation. Okay, and it is a type of external table and there would be a difference, so we will discuss that in a demo in detail. Okay, and it follows a different approach to query external data with the external connection, that too with the access delegation. Okay, actually we will grant access to only big lake tables rather than the data sources. Okay, and also we can enforce fine-grained access at the table level and also at the row level. Okay, this access delegation is done through a service account. Okay, that is associated with the external connection that we create, right, as part of this process. Okay, we are going to see this in detail in the demo. Okay, and right now it is supporting different external sources. Obviously Google Cloud Storage is one such external source. Okay, and also it will support Amazon S3 and also Blob storage. So there is a service called BigQuery Omni. We will discuss this in a different video. So this particular concept and that big lake concept is supported by BigQuery Omni, especially in case of Amazon S3 and Blob storage. Okay, and it also supports multiple files if we have the same schema. Okay, that is the condition. And it also supports join. You can join big lake table with the other BigQuery tables, provided the data location should be same in big lake table case and also the normal BigQuery table case. Okay, so that is a condition. And there are other tools like in case of Apache Spark and Hive and TensorFlow, you can access big lake tables using BigQuery connector. So and there are the limitation. Okay, whatever the limitation we have with the external table, the same limitation will apply to the big lake table as well. And there are some extra limitation also. I could suggest you to go to the documentation so that you will get this information from the documentation. Okay, now we'll go to the demo and there we will discuss this concept in detail. For this demo, we are going to use a dedicated dataset. So we are going to create that dataset. So let us create that dataset. So just give the appropriate dataset name. Okay, so we are going to create this dataset in US multi-region. You can even specify table expiration policy. Okay, we have created this dataset. Right now, this dataset is empty. Okay, now before we proceed with the big lake tables, okay, let us try to understand the external table once again. Now you can observe this bucket. So this bucket has multiple CSV file. We are going to use one of the CSV file to create external table. So we are going to use the second file. So before that, I would strongly recommend you to watch this video. We have already uploaded a video on this concept. So here I've explained each and every use case for different file formats. How can we create an external table? So just watch this video so that you will get end-to-end understanding. Now coming back to the editor. Right now, go back to your dataset, just click on open. Now it's time to create your external table. Select the Google Cloud Storage bucket as a source. Now you will have to select the appropriate bucket. Okay, select the file, and now you come back to your that window, and then you can see the file format as CSV. Now give proper table name. Okay, here you can see the table type, external table or native table. So just select the external table. Okay, if you observe this option, right, you can see that create a big lake table using external connection. Right now we don't have any external connection created. Okay, so that's why we are not creating it right now. We'll have to create the external connection, then you can create the big lake table. Okay, right now you can select the auto detect schema because your file has the header in it. Okay, now your external table has been created. Okay, so this is your external. Just click on that table name. You can see the details and you can see the source URI path from the GCS bucket. This is the same file we have selected while we are creating the external table. Just try to query this table. Okay, you should be able to query this table because you are the owner of this project. Okay, now I am the owner of the project. I will be able to query this table. You can see the output data. Now let us try to share this data set with one of the other user. Okay, we'll try to give minimum permission to read data from this data set. Okay, let us only share this data. Do not share all datasets which are available in the project, or else don't give permissions at the project level. It is always recommended to use least privilege policy recommended by Google Cloud Platform. Now go to your adding principal section. Just add the user credentials or user account, and then you will have to grant appropriate BigQuery level permission, that is BigQuery user, and as well BigQuery data viewer permission to be granted to this user. So I'm granting that BigQuery data viewer and also BigQuery user permission. Now it's time to just save these permissions. Okay, just click on save so that these permissions or roles will be granted to this particular user. Okay, now we will try to query this table using this new user credentials. So I've logged in with this new user credentials. Now you can see this data set has been shared with this new user. Okay, now you should be able to see this table. Now you can see the table details and its source URL and everything. Now we'll try to query this table. Okay, so if you fire a query, now you can see that error already coming up over there. Now you can see this error clearly saying this user doesn't have permission to access the data from this Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, we have given the BigQuery permission to this user, but this user doesn't have permission to view data from this bucket. Since it is an external table, the data resides in the Google Cloud Storage bucket over here. Now you can see this bucket, right? So now it's better to give enough permission to this user on top of this bucket. Okay, let's go to this bucket. So you can see this is the bucket. Just click on the three dots at the end of the bucket. Now you can see there are so many options coming up. Just click on edit access. Okay, so now you should add this principal or user. You should give object viewer permission. This is the minimum permission to read data from Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, just type something like object viewer. Okay, you just save that permission to this user. Now this user, that is individual user, has the permission to read data from this Google Cloud Storage bucket. Now you just try to run this query once again. Now this user is able to query this table. Okay, now he has permission on this object that is in GCS bucket and also at the BigQuery table level. Okay, so this is an external table. Now to create big lake table, just click on add symbol. Now you can see connect to external data sources. Click on that. Now you can see all this option. Now you will have to select appropriate option, that is big lake and remote functions. This is the appropriate option you will have to select. Okay, now you can see the other option to create big lake table from AWS and also from the Microsoft Azure. You will have to use BigQuery Omni. We'll see that in a different video. Now select this big lake and remote functions. Okay, now you will have to provide connection ID details. Just give some name to it, and then you can create this connection in multi-region or region. So I've selected the multi-region option. Now my connection has been created. Okay, now you can see these connection details over here. So you can see the location and connection ID. So now when you observe this connection detail, there is an interesting thing. This connection is associated with one service account. Okay, if you see, so this is a service account, right? Now whenever you try to create big lake tables, it will use this service account to read data from external sources like Google Cloud Storage and other external sources. This is very important, and this service account should be granted with the required Google Cloud Storage bucket read permissions. Okay, now go to the bucket. So you will have to provide necessary access or roles. Just same thing you will do, edit access, add principal. Okay, that is service account credentials. Okay, now you will have to grant necessary IAM role, that is object viewer role. Just type something object, then you should see all this option coming up. Just save this permission or role. Now this service account has access to read this bucket files. Okay, and now you just go to the that roles list, right? Now you can see the service account as well, and that individual user. we have given this object viewer permission to this individual user few minutes back to read that external table, right? So now you can see that. Okay, so now go back to BigQuery editor, just observe this service account, the same service account you can see over here. Now this service account has that permission. Now it's time to delete that individual user. Okay, just delete that individual user from this roles list. Okay, now successfully we have revoked that object viewer permission from the individual user. Now it's time to create our big lake table, right? Go to the data set and click on the create table. Okay, now the source is cloud storage bucket. Just browse that bucket and now you can see all the CSV files. So for big lake table we are selecting the different CSV file. Okay, this is the CSV file. Okay, now you can see the file format as CSV. Okay, now we are not going for any source data partitioning. Now just give proper table name over here, so you can give some meaningful name over here. Okay, this is the name I'm giving, and this is very important. You have to select table type as external table, and here this is one more important step. This is where you will differentiate your external table and also your big lake table. You have to select the checkbox so that you will use external connection to create your big lake table. So we have already created this US located external connection. We are using that. Now you can see our big lake table has been successfully created, right? So there are two tables present in the data set. The one above is it's an external table, and the below table is in big lake table. Okay, so now I hope you understand the difference between external table and big lake table. Okay, so big lake table uses the external connection to read data from external sources like Google Cloud Storage and other external sources like Amazon S3 and Azure Blob Storage. Now coming to the GCS bucket and just check the permissions, right? So now here you can see, so the viewer permission has been granted to the service account other than the individual user or any other groups, right? This is how big lake table works. So the access or permissions have been delegated to the service account behalf of individual user or groups. Okay, now let's try to query this table in a different tab, right? Whether this project owner will be able to query this table or not now, right? So you will be able to query this big lake table without any issue. Okay, so now it's time to share this data set with the other user, right? We have done the same thing in our external table case, right? So I think it has been already shared in that external table case, right? So if you see whether that user has he has this BigQuery user permission on this dataset, okay, and also data viewer permission on this dataset. So now it's all set. So now we'll have to switch to the other user. Before that, go to the GCS bucket and let's see. Once again we'll re-verify, right? So whether any individual user or groups has the permission, where permission on this bucket, no, nothing, right? Now any other permission in the IAM, no, nothing. This user doesn't have any other permission. So okay, now go to the BigQuery editor and switch to the other user, right? So now we are in we are into other user console, right? Now you can see only this dataset big lake. Now he has access, he will be able to view two tables, that is big lake table and external table. Now it's time to query our big lake table. Okay, so you should be able to query this, right? So now clearly he is able to query this table. Okay, whereas in the external table case we will see, right? So go back to our object viewer permission. So that user doesn't have any direct permission on the object viewer. Using big lake table you will be able to query, but whereas if you try to query this external table again, now it should not be, right? So see, you can see that error already. So just try to query this table. Now you can see access denied because this user doesn't have that object viewer permission in external table case, whereas in the big lake table case that service account is taking care of everything, right? That access delegation is already done through that service account. So that's why he's able to query big lake table but not the external table. This is the greatest advantage. Now There is one more case, whether can we promote the existing external table to the big lake table? Yes, by using this DDL statement, create or replace, you can just create big lake table or promote the existing external table. That it will just replace existing external table to the big lake table using that DDL statement. Okay, now you can see this is already promoted as big lake table. Okay, now you can see that connection ID, it is already using that external connection, as simple as that. So this is one way. You can also use the BQ commands also to promote existing external table to the big lake table. There is a label already shown over there, big lake, in blue color. Now you can clearly see that connection ID. So this is how you can even promote existing external table to the big lake table. Now we'll try to query this table whether it is working. Now we should be able to query this table because we have promoted this external table to the big lake table, right? Nothing changed at the IAM permission level, just promoted to the big lake table. That's it, it is working. That's it for this video. Thank you.